Walk proud, we shining light. Walk proud, we shining light. For those who out here doing things, we need to know your name. Well, here's the right place. We shining lights to walk proud. We shining light. Walk proud, we shining light. For those who out here doing things, we need to see your face. Here's the platform, here's the stage. We shining lights to walk proud. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to Walk Proud. I'm your host Kay White, along with Jazz Holland. How you doing today, Jazz man?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Ah man, can't complain, brother. Just nervous about this election.
I hear you. I hear you. It's close. It's getting close.
Yeah. What is it? Tuesday is the day.
Yep. Yeah.
I
Tuesday
mean,
today. You had your
Tuesday's the day, but you know the mail-in ballots situation.
right. Yeah. So it won't actually. You probably won't hear anything that day as far as a winner. I know early voting ended Friday, which was October 30th. So if you didn't get a chance to get out and do your early voting, last day is on Tuesday, which is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. There's been a lot of tension at poll sites too.
Hmm.
I don't know if you went. I know I took my father-in-law to the AT&T Center. We just did it because it was something he's never been to the
Right.
AT&T Center. So I was like, let's go. So we get there, and it was security all at the doors, at the beginning of the line, standing in the middle of the line. I was like, man. But they
Okay.
were all protected.
So what?
I said no, but they were all. There was a lot of tension this year. It seemed like.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Everybody's I don't know if it's picking sides or there's definitely a lot of tension in the air. So I did early voting. I went on the east side. I went to Copernicus, my old stomping ground from the Southeast Apache days or whatever. And so I didn't even know they were doing it up there, but me, my mom, my sister, and my niece were over in that area. And my mom was saying that she had went up there the other day. And I was like, well, man, we over here. Let's go see if we can get it knocked out real quick. And went in, wasn't no line, got to go in there and knock it out real quick, and it was quick and easy. So I'm just glad that I was able to get it out the way fast. So
Yeah.
I did that. Then my wife went Friday, actually, which is the last day for the early voting, and
Mhm.
she went. I believe she went in Universal City at the library in Universal City, and she said it was a kind of a long line, but it kind of moved pretty fast, so it wasn't too terrible. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
My,
I know you say you took your uncle to the AT&T Center.
no, my father-in-law.
Your father-in-law. Did you where'd you go vote?
I just went with him that day.
Oh,
We both were there that day. Yeah. Um, Actually, I think pretty much my family voted that day. Earlier that morning, my wife had gotten up and taken her mother, and they went to Northwest Vista.
right.
It was such a. They were gone for 2.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were in line for like 2.5 hours. And then my wife said that they had a little bit of difficulty with the trying to get a translator for my mother-in-law.
Hmm.
So with that information, the long line in that, and I was taking my father-in-law. I was like, you know what? He hasn't seen the AT&T Center. Let's go there because it's bigger. The
Right.
line it shouldn't be as long, and they'll definitely have Spanish speakers there. And sure enough, I don't
Yeah.
think it just spoke English.
Right. Right.
But no, man, it moved pretty quickly uh, with us up there.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks to the NBA for that, for them, campaigning for arenas to open up the polls for people to have a voice. Because I mean, think about it. You got people that sit there and they're like, "Oh, that's the line. Nah, I ain't doing it this year."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, whoa. What do you
Right.
mean? You're playing for the next 4 years.
Yeah. 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 That's why I'm big on early voting just because for one, they give you a long enough window to where say you go one day and there is a long line, you
Yeah,
can come back, so that and you can vote outside your actual district. You don't have to vote in your actual district if you do early
exactly.
vote, which allowed me to go vote where I voted. So it gives you more options and it gives you room to maneuver and find a spot where it's not too many people. Like I said, I walk right in. So I was like,
Yeah,
I've done that numerous times. Like numerous elections where I was able to just go in and
Just go
knock
in
it
and-
out. And then I have been on the flip side where it's like the day of, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting in line like, why did I wait? You know, 'cause then you get frustrated, and it's like, but you ain't got no choice, you know.
Yeah, I think the only time I did that was Obama's first year.
Mm,
It was the last day, and I had completely forgot about Election Day. And a
mhm.
friend of mine, she was just like, "Hey," she's like, "Have you voted today?" I was like, "Oh man!" So I went. I think I was in line for about 2 hours that day. I was
Oh,
just like, I'm not gonna lie, being black, it just felt like it was an extremely important time to vote.
oh
You
yeah,
know, and
definitely.
especially this year as well. But yeah, it was an experience, and I was like, I'm not going to do that again. So I've done early voting since then.
Early voting that year. 'Cause I remember that day because I had classes that day, and me and my wife, we had on our shirts or whatever, our Obama shirts, and we went to go vote, do early voting, which is where it kind of started the whole process of doing early voting because it was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm in here quick knocking this out, and then we ended up being in the paper, which was cool. We ended up being in the paper for San Antonio College or whatever, like with our shirts on, and then they had
That's cool.
Obama's big picture over it or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like the day, I want to say it came out the day after he got elected or whatever. So it's kind of some cool memorabilia for us to have, you know, that
Yeah,
has
man.
a link to him as far as making history with that whole thing. So
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we just want to go on here and let everyone know, elections, like I said, once again, it's Tuesday.
yes,
It's Tuesday, folks. It's Tuesday. And get your vote in, get your voice heard. It doesn't matter if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent. I mean, don't forget Joe Jurgensen is still out there.
right.
But because I got a couple of buddies that are Joe Jurgensen fans. I'm not gonna lie, I paid attention to some of her policies and the things that she would like to run in the country, and she makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that party doesn't get as much attention
Right.
as it should, but times are changing, so you never know, man.
Yeah.
Libertarian. I'm sorry, not independent. Libertarian. Also, as of right now, what we've seen, I mean, I've been getting updates here recently.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm not a politician. I didn't go to school for politics. I went to school to be a psychologist. Didn't work out. But anywho, it's just interesting to me, and I've been paying attention to the way the electoral votes work, the way our votes work, and the electoral college votes, and so that's why I get the alerts. But right now, it says that Pennsylvania is really going to be one of the key states at the moment.
Right.
Because as far as with it's been, I guess, controversial as at the polls,
Yeah.
and especially with the mail-ins and things like that. So apparently, that might be the last state we may hear from on election night.
Yeah.
What was it, Florida? Was it the last time? But they're staying Florida. It's still a toss-up at the moment.
Yeah.
Texas.
I think they're saying Biden has like a slight edge right now from what they showed.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, Florida, and Arizona and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yeah, they said he was up by 10 points about an hour ago. 2 hours ago.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, this election is really just about what type of America are we going to be?
Yeah.
Are we going to be what our forefounders kind of like wanted us to be, what we were built on, freedom, the American dream,
Right.
stating that anyone can come here and succeed by
Yeah.
all means. And it never, I just feel like it never stated on how you got here.
Right.
Everyone's goal, I mean, heck, you can watch it in movies, you see it in documentaries. Everyone's goal that doesn't live here is, as long as I get to America, I'm good.
Right.
And it seems like here recently, we've been blocking that from the world.
Yeah.
And that part frustrates me, given that, I have an interracial family.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is first generation American, so it's close to home. But I mean, we're either going to be that or we're going to be alone. That's how I feel about it. I mean,
Yeah.
That might seem drastic to some, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of been that way because we've been pulling ourselves from all these unions that we were with different countries and things like that, and soon it's just going to be America versus everyone, and it's never been that way.
Yeah.
That's that's kind of scary if you think about it, especially San Antonio. We got a lot of military bases, man.
Yeah, we do. We
We
do.
got a lot of military bases.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that's why it's important for people to vote for who they feel, you know, is doing things that they want to see done. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not big on politics. I'm not because I feel like a lot of it's a bunch of lies. I feel like basically it's like
Oh,
who lie. You know, I'm not into the like I want to know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see what you're gonna do. It's easy to tell somebody this. You know, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But then after
hmm
you get in office, you know, everything changes. Which is it's hard to know right offhand who's gonna do that. You know.
right.
But I just say, you know, whoever you feel most confident in, that's going to help better your life. You know, what I'm saying better this world. I think that's who you should vote for. And even if you're not, even if you're like me, like I said, I'm not big on politics. I listen because obviously it's important. Like you still need to go vote. You know, because it still matters. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's really the biggest thing is figure out who you know what I'm saying do your research, figure out who aligns more with what you're trying to do and which way the route you're trying to take, and
yeah.
just go vote, man. Either way, I mean, it's part of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of being here in America. You know, it's part of it. It comes with the territory. Like you have to.
That is the whole. I mean, I think that's really one of the number one freedom of speeches.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I mean, if you think about in our past history, people have been beaten and
right,
killed because they tried to vote a certain way
right,
or period. And I think it's very important for minorities and people of ethnic groups and interracial groups, period, to
right,
vote because somewhere along that line, someone in your family tree was told that they couldn't.
right, right. So
You,
many
some,
people fall. Yeah,
oh, someone in your family was told that they couldn't, and for you to sit there and say, I'm not gonna vote because I don't like neither one of them. That's a
right,
slap in the, you know.
exactly. Yeah.
You have to take these things seriously.
A lot of people take it for
Your
granted
your
because
family wasn't from this country. Like they couldn't do it in their country, so do it
yeah,
here.
I think a lot of people take it for granted because it's one of those things where now that you have an option, you know, if you weren't back then at those times or you didn't study those times, you don't realize
You
how
don't realize.
important it was. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have like back then. You didn't have the option to vote. You know, which
hmm
you put all these other people in power to control like what happens with you and how your life is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Led. So now you actually have an option. So use. You know what I'm saying? Use it. You know.
Use that option, man.
Right.
Definitely. I was glad to see that photo of you and your niece and your sister going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, she's getting old. We're getting old.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Like,
It was surreal being there because it's weird, man. I used to be up there every Saturday, like for from 7 years old to what, maybe 12 or something. Like it's so crazy. I hadn't been up there since, and like to go up there and just see the battlegrounds of the Southeast Apaches. It's like, man,
yeah, a
crazy.
couple of from my job go up there and play basketball on that little court outside.
Yeah,
They half court. I stopped by to watch them one day, and I was looking at it. I was like, man, so this place, it didn't look like this. I said it looked like this, but it's come a long way, man. It
yeah.
seemed like the building was bigger as a kid.
Yeah, it's always like that. When you're somewhere
Yeah,
and you go back, even driving by school, like when you drive by Roosevelt or drive by Ed White,
yeah.
like, man, that's cool. That's nothing like when we were there. It's like, what happened? But
But
it is what it is.
all right then. Well, that concludes today's episode. We just wanted to make sure that everyone understood how important it is to vote, whether you're voting for, and don't let the presidential vote be the last vote that you do.
Right.
We still have, House of Representatives. We still have Senate. You still have your city to vote for, your county to vote for, county judges and things like that. People want to think that the president is the one that's going to make that change as far as like, the whole police brutality and what
Right.
goes on in the city. And no, the president is not the one that's going to change that.
Right.
vote for in your city as well. And you have to be very diligent about getting out voting, period, when it's time to vote.
Yeah, there's a lot of levels to it.
Yeah, man, hey, Meek Mill was on to something when he said there's levels to this.
Yeah.
He wasn't just talking about money.
Right.
But all right then, well, once again, Tuesday, last day to vote. Get it in.
Make sure you have your IDs. A lot of people have been showing up without IDs. So make sure you have your IDs so you can vote. And then now at this point, when you go vote on Tuesday, you have to vote in your district. So make sure you
have to vote in your district.
research and make sure you actually can vote where you're trying to go vote. That way you won't have any issues with having to go somewhere else and then you get discouraged from voting in general. So
exactly. Our east side of town, the
Right.
Alamo Dome is right there. I mean, not the Alamo Dome. I'm sorry, the AT&T Center is right there.
Yeah.
It's there for you to sit there and go and get that vote if you don't want to stand in the line at the library. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get it out there by pigeon, mail in vote. I mean, heck,
I don't know if the pigeon vote gonna count, but
I don't know if that pigeon vote's gonna count. But it depends on which way it's gonna go. It might
Right.
count.
Right.
But all right, yeah, man. Well, once again, whatever it is that you all love to do it with love, live it, and walk proud. Y'all have a great weekend.
Walk proud, we shining light. Walk proud, we shining light. For those who out here doing things, we need to know your name. Well, here's the right place. We shining lights to walk proud. We shining light. Walk proud, we shining light. For those who out here doing things, we need to see your face. Here's the platform, here's the stage. We shining